What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Shout out to the over 100 subscribers that this channel now has. Might not seem like that many, but you know it means a lot, so thanks. Please keep subscribing for more videos if you are not a subscriber. Today we're talking about the Tuscaloosa Birmingham EF4 tornado, which happened on April 27th, 2011. It's part of the Alabama super outbreak, which I have previously done a video over. And in that video I just did an overview of, see all these scars, these lines have crossed, right there's another one across Alabama. I did a video on the super outbreak as a whole, but today we're going to focus in on Tuscaloosa and Birmingham because this was probably the most significant tornado of that day. In fact, it's the second costliest tornado of all time after the Joplin tornado, which would happen less than a month later. So overall 80 miles long. So it started over here and it went way up here. And I mean, 80 miles, that's pretty significant. And it lasted for over an hour and a half. So this will be kind of a longer video. But right off the bat, just look at this well-defined path. And this is from December 2011, this satellite imagery. So you can see it pretty clearly months afterwards. In fact, if we go up to 2015, 4 years afterwards, you can still see the path right through here. In fact, if we look at Tuscaloosa from, this is satellite data from 2017, you can see that path very clearly. And then from 2019, this is super recent, 8 years afterwards, you can still see how it's green up here, green down here, and completely bare right through here. So definitely seeing some long-lasting effects. But we're going to start at the very beginning here in rural Greene County near the town of Union. And you can see right here we got a patch of missing trees. And of course that would be our tornado. Now, it started around here. You can kind of tell there's almost a little bit of a line right here too. So maybe it was starting to touch down about here, but we actually don't get any real data. I mean, we have data, but we don't have the really accurate data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We get that right here. So we get this image right here. Let me go over here and it should change to NASA or something. So this is the surveying that they did, and you can see they actually missed the track of the tornado, but they finally got it right here. So this is the real data, and this is from a day afterwards, so April 28th, 2011. And as you can see, pretty small. I mean, this isn't very much damage at all. We had some downed trees. This is EF1. I mean, this is small. You look at this guy's right in the path of the tornado, and his house, I mean, it's missing a section of its roof, but it's, you know, it's not too bad, especially compared to this the damage that we've seen on this channel before. So it's going about EF2, EF1 levels, and then looks like it hit this house right here, and it's starting to pick up a little bit. And you can kind of see, look how much wider this is right here compared to even right here. So it's picking up some strength. We can have a look at this. So they, looks like these guys didn't even, what is that? Looks like it's just a shed. A little reminder of what was once there, but definitely getting wider for sure. But this is a pretty rural area. We're not quite to the, we are in Tuscaloosa County, by the way, at this point. But this is about 4:50, 4:52 in the afternoon. It's been going for a few moments here. Now this right here is the Black Warrior River, and at this point, from looking at the just the satellite imagery in general, I think the tornado actually died down a little bit. You can see something going on right here, but it seems pretty thin compared to what it was, and you really don't see too much. Now I know this is a field and it's hard to see in fields for sure, but anyways, this is Interstate 20 right here, and it's going parallel with Interstate 20 at this point, and it's getting close to 5. But right here you can see, look at this right here, it really starts to pick up. We did some damage down here, and you can see some truck beds and some things thrown. Some of it looks like it was thrown out into the shrubbery over here, but definitely seeing some major damage right through here. But at this point right here, this is when you really start to see the tornado gain a lot of strength. We're talking EF4 levels at this point. It's going about, 175 mile per hour winds, really getting a lot wider and getting much stronger. Now this right here, unfortunately, is the Tuscaloosa County Emergency Operations Center. So this would have been the spot where everyone would have gathered in an event like a tornado. Unfortunately, it actually got hit by the tornado, so they actually set up some sort of mobile operations center where even like the president came to help out in the National Guard. But this would have been the place, and fortunately, they did rebuild it. Out in this lovely rural area, and look how nice that looks. That's a beautiful building. So, and by the way, this is the very edge of Tuscaloosa. We are now entering the city limits of Tuscaloosa, and you can see that path very clearly going almost perfectly northeast and just a direct line across the city. But right here, this looks like it's a commercial district of some sorts, and you can just see cars thrown everywhere. Just various debris throughout. Look at all this. This roof, and this building's still here. You can see the metal framing of the building, so it's not EF5 level. This is still, EF4, even EF3 level tornado strength, but you can just look at all this damage. And look at, these guys are probably here getting ready to help out, and you'll love to see it when people help out. You got people stopped right there helping out. But this is definitely, and look at this. If you look at this right here, this, you can see the line of the tornado, and it hit this part of the building right here, but not this part because the roof right here is still there. Anyway, keep going to the northeast, crosses the interstate, and look at all this right through here. We have a ton of damage going on right here. So unfortunately, this was a very densely populated area. So this right here was actually a really nice apartment development area. And this was a pool right here in the middle. In fact, we can probably go back one. So these were all apartments, and unfortunately, it was in the direct path of the tornado. And today, it's just a field with this old parking lot still there with one tree. Which is interesting that they have one tree. I wonder if someone planted that one tree, because there's no tree there before. So someone planted the tree. That's interesting. I don't know why maybe it's some sort of memorial or something. But continue to the northeast. See this clear line of debris right through here. Look at these trees that have just been sucked into the tornado. All these trees are going towards the tornado. We go across the street, and all these trees are going the opposite direction, also towards the tornado, and got all these cars helping out. It's always good to see that. And this is the neighborhood before, and then afterwards. So I'd look at this house. The roof is still intact. In fact, a lot of these houses still have roofs. So this shows that it's not a super strong EF5 level tornado. I know a lot of people are thinking, wow, this is one of the worst tornado disasters of all time. How is it not EF5? Well, this is why. It's because the damage just wasn't quite as severe as Joplin or Moore, for example. So it's a little bit after 5, still going through Tuscaloosa, and fortunately the university is up north here. So we have the stadium over here, the University of Alabama. So that Alabama with a really good football team, that's this university right here. And then right through here is where it went through some residential neighborhoods. So quite a bit of damage. Kept heading to the northeast. And from what I can tell, looks like we have a few empty. Sometimes after a tornado, you'll see some empty, like right here. This is a perfect example of a house that never rebuilt. And right here is a driveway going nowhere. You see that a lot, which is kind of ghostly. I don't know. Stuff like that kind of is pretty interesting to me. But if we go to a before, yeah, you'll definitely see some houses right here that were unfortunately destroyed then they never rebuilt. So you see that every once in a while. And these, these might remain for decades, but we got to keep moving on. This was the University Place Elementary School, and this school actually received $100,000 from Target, and it looks pretty good today. It looks like it had the same kind of design. They didn't have to rebuild too much, so that's good. Just keep going through some of these residential neighborhoods. See all these down trees, all the cars. A lot of roof damage. I mean, you could see into the house, but it's not crazy. Forest Lake right here has a bunch of bits of forest in it. Got some tarp on this house over here. A little before. That's a nice lake, actually. That looks like it'd be kind of a nice place. This little tree right here. Then here it is years later. Wow. I mean, look at this. We had some abandoned driveways right through here as well. So not everyone rebuilt. Now we're heading up to 15th Street, which is one of the more significant roads in Tuscaloosa. And right here, this is I want to say, isn't this McFarland? Oh, no, right here. Right here is McFarland Boulevard. So this right here, this is your commercial district. This is where all your restaurants are. I hopped over into Google Maps so we can look at some street view stuff. This is the same area right through here. We drop in right about here. Wow, looking very modern, very new. But we know why. It's because it was destroyed by a tornado. Here it is in 2009. Looks a little run down. I mean, I think that's actually probably the camera. Got this quick pawn shop. Got a McDonald's across the street. We have that looks like a new something that was built kind of recently. So this is in 2009, and then if we go over to 2011, this is a month after the tornado hit. So we have all this debris and all these trees and a little reminder of what was once there. We got a TV right there. You can see part of the university maybe over there. We still have some remains of some brick wall right through there, and it looks like that's an interior door. But it looks like we got some tractors out here cleaning up. The McDonald's is now gone. That was once over there. You can see that this was that one hamburger place, whatever that place is called. Oh, but the Chipotle remains. Somehow the Chipotle dodged the bullet. The new building remains. Maybe it was built pretty well, because everything else around here is completely destroyed. Let's have a look to see how this changes over time. April, looks like they've cleaned everything up. 2015. My computer is making a lot of noise because it cannot handle this, so ignore that. Looks like someone purchased the land. And then boom, we got a haircut place now open. Place for rent right here, Verizon, 2020. And here's the same spot in 2020. Got a Panda Express. There's a McDonald's right there. This place is the same, good for them, and Chipotle is the same, so that's good to see. We got some rebuilding. Seems like a completely different area. So it looks like we got this little concrete slab, and I'm curious if that's from the city before the tornado. So if we go all the way back to 2009, we got this street right here that goes someplace, but 2011, this is in June, so this is just 2 months after the tornado. Got all the debris, got some things left, and then 2004, looks like we have this little bit that's been kind of cut out here. And then they're putting up some power lines in 2015. And then they got rid of the road. You can see them getting rid of this road right through here. But they still have this little bit right here. But 2020. So if you're ever in Tuscaloosa and you're walking down the sidewalk right here, you can look over at this slab. Maybe even walk on it. And just kind of remember the city prior to the 2011 tornado. You have an abandoned gas station right here. Quick Mart, which is interesting because it hasn't been operational since the tornado, and apparently there's some legal issues between the city and the owners of the property. So all these years since the tornado, it's just been, oh, here we go. Here it is before the tornado. So there it is back in the day. But since then, it's just been completely abandoned. But we keep heading to the northeast through here. Here's a big shopping district right through here, which was completely destroyed and rebuilt later. Wow, it looks like it was rebuilt into some apartments or something. But now the tornado was about EF3, EF4 levels at this point, going through these neighborhoods. And then coming out. Now this is interesting. This was a previously abandoned building, actually. So if we go to before, one more. It was already abandoned. This was before the tornado, so that was not part of the tornado. However, we had some major damage right through there. And then this is Alberta City right here. A few years later, still have lots of empty plots. Alberta City's looking pretty empty. And then, of course, in 2019, we still have empty plots. So this place has not really changed much since the tornado. EF3, EF4 levels through here. So right over here we have the Chastain Manor apartments right through here. And this was the clubhouse, which had all of its destruction go straight into this little pond here. But they did rebuild this, so that's nice. It looks. But if I zoom out here, I want you to see. So hold on, okay. So you see this direct path right here, but there's a larger path that you can clearly see. So we have trees, thick trees, and then this direct path where it was actually hitting the ground and doing a lot of damage. But then we have this wider path of trees being affected by the tornado in general. In fact, we can take this right here and we can actually measure across, and I mean, it's a mile wide. That's a mile wide path right through there. So over here is the suburb or little town of Holt. And as you can see, it just kind of barely hit the edge of Holt here, but still several homes were impacted. And here's another one of those elementary schools that was unfortunately impacted by the storm. And it looks like they didn't have to rebuild, so that is good. Obviously, they did some minor rebuilding. Getting towards the edge of Tuscaloosa here. This is right here. This is a creek, and right here, this is a railroad right here, and you can see that this bridge was completely destroyed, as well as terrain is starting to get decently hilly. So it's interesting to see tornadoes in hilly areas, as I'm used to seeing them in the plains. So at this point, it's leaving, and this is EF4 level still, and it's leaving the city of Tuscaloosa. Overall, 44 people had lost their lives in the Tuscaloosa city district right here. So unfortunately, it wouldn't be the end of the tornado, though, as it continued on through rural Tuscaloosa County. You can see the bare trees through here. Keep going through these hills, much hillier right through here. This road, it kind of went, directly with this Hannah Creek Road. Now we're starting to get into some more suburbs of, this is Birmingham right here. So right here is Birmingham. So these are kind of the southern suburbs of Birmingham. So as you can see, this is kind of the first neighborhood to be hit since Holt, since way back in Tuscaloosa. And right away you can see that the tornado is a little bit weaker because these houses sustained pretty minor damage. Obviously, there's some debris and some trees and some shingles and whatnot missing off of this house, but more minor than it was before. But the tornado would rapidly gain strength as it began to enter the Birmingham City District. And this is about 6 o'clock p.m., and we're going back to about EF4 levels of strength. And you can see that this is getting pretty wide as well. But as you can see right here, this is the town of Concord, and quite a bit of damage. Continue on to the northeast. A little bit after 6. Remember, this started at 4:45, so it's been going for about an hour and 15 minutes at this point, and probably about 60 miles. So it's been going for quite a ways. Here we have some more kind of suburban rural houses. Look how hilly it gets right through here. And it went through this 14th Street little cul-de-sac. Wow, that's really hilly. That's way more hilly than I expected it to be. This is part of the suburb of Pleasant Grove, and you can just see that direct line. And this tornado has been extremely just perfectly straight. Hasn't gone much to the east at all or to the north. It's just gone perfectly northeast, it seems like, this entire time. Got some cars helping out right through here. Just all this debris going right through here, this line of debris. Then this house looks like it lost a lot of its roof. If you look at it today, wow, look at how many empty fields. Look at this. We have all these houses right through here, and then a lot of it is just empty now. You look at this right here, we have like some sort of concrete slab out in the middle of the woods that is just abandoned. And if you drove by, you probably wouldn't even notice it. And if you look right here, that's a very clear path right through there. Now this section right here is actually a coal yard, and these things right here, all these little things are over 70,000 pounds. And they were thrown. That's how ridiculous a tornado can be. And look at this right here. Look at this one. Look how far this one was thrown. I don't know if we can. Yeah, here's from 2010, and all of these are lined up nicely. And this is the day of, and then of course the day after, which is a little bit clearer. It's crazy. Go up through here. This is McDonald Chapel right through here. Hit some of these suburban neighborhoods. And if we back up a little bit, you can see the path going right through here. And this is Birmingham right here. So fortunately it was terrible that it happened, but fortunately it went through kind of a suburban rural area of Birmingham rather than, right through here. So you can see that it affected these neighborhoods right here pretty severely, actually. There it is, much later, and of course today. And it's really starting to weaken at this point. EF2 levels. It's almost hard to even see exactly where it's at. You can still see it's going right through here because of these trees. We can look down here, and you can see some debris, but this is much weaker than it was. These houses are directly in the path, and they're not damaged too bad at all. So really starting to weaken, probably about EF2 levels. And then right through here, all these roofs are being torn off. So we got some, maybe EF3 level damage, but definitely not EF4 like we were seeing before. These people have the tarp on their roof, so they got some damage as well. Crossed over Interstate 22 right through here. You can still see the kind of patchiness of the forest, but we're getting towards the end of the tornado at this point. If we kind of back up, because I can't even really see it. Yeah, here's Fultondale. So this was the very end of the tornado right through here. But overall, 20 people lost their life in the Birmingham suburban rural areas. So all these areas, about 20 people had lost their life. But if we back up and see this path all the way through, wow. My perspective has changed a little bit. Let me fix that. Yeah, but here it is, and here's where it started. Northern Greene County. You can see that path right through there, and it went all the way. In fact, we could do a little bit of a measurement. And look at that, 82 miles. I mean, that's incredible. That's ridiculous. Well, there you have it. That concludes the Tuscaloosa Birmingham EF4 tornado from April 27th, 2011. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing to all these videos. I'll try to reply to a lot of the comments below, and give me a few weeks, because I actually watch the YouTube videos that I watch on a different channel, so sometimes I don't see the notifications, but I will check in and I will see those notifications eventually. So if you have a cool story that you want to share, or if you want to tell me something that I don't know about, like if I need to use a term, if I'm using a term incorrectly or something, I'd love to hear it. Love to learn from all that stuff. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, like the video if you like it. Also, yes, shout out to the over 100 subscribers. And I checked today and I have 171 now, which is crazy because I had like 140 a couple days ago. So it just keeps on moving up. Maybe we'll do a 1,000 subscriber special in a couple of years when we get there. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone.